Prepare to question reality as we uncover bizarre places and phenomena that defy logic, like a sun-scorched desert underwater, a city buried beneath Turkmenistan's secrets, and ice that shouldn't exist in Siberia's frozen hell. These are the hidden nightmares of our world that exist, but shouldn't, and trust us, you won't believe how they twist reality.
What if I told you there's a black tar lake that's been dripping for several thousand years and never dries up? Welcome to the Pitch Lake in Trinidad and Tobago, the largest natural deposit of asphalt in the world. It should have dried up long ago, but somehow, it just keeps growing. Scientists believe it's fed by underground reservoirs of natural asphalt, slowly seeping to the surface over millennia. The lake covers about 100 acres and holds over 10 million tons of natural asphalt, that's more than any other site on Earth. And here's the kicker: vehicles and even people have vanished into it, but the lake just keeps getting bigger. Several thousand years of dripping, growing, and swallowing, and scientists still can't fully explain why it never runs out. What if I told you life thrives where pressure could crush a tank in seconds? We're talking about the Hadal Zone of the Mariana Trench, about 35,800 feet below sea level. The pressure there is over 1,000 times greater than its sea level, enough to crush a submarine in seconds. Yet, scientists have discovered a relatively small number of species thriving in total darkness and freezing temperatures. Some of these creatures, like the Mariana snailfish, have reduced or incomplete bone ossification. Their bodies are adapted to survive the crushing force. The Hadal Zone is so extreme, it's one of the most unexplored places on Earth, and yet, life not only exists, it thrives. And scientists still can't fully explain how these creatures survive, or why they haven't evolved bones at all. There's a crater in Turkmenistan that has been on fire for over 50 years, though some sources suggest it began in 1971. And nobody can put it out. It's known as the door to the underworld, and it's located in the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan. The crater is about 230 feet wide, big enough to swallow a house whole. It has been burning non-stop since 1971, when a drilling rig accidentally struck a gas pocket. The gas is mostly methane, flammable, odorless, and in constant supply from underground reservoirs. But here's what's even stranger: scientists still haven't explored the caves beneath it. The heat and toxic gases make it too dangerous. What if a door led straight into a flaming pit that's been burning for 50 years? And scientists still can't explain what's beneath it. There's a mountain in California that sparkles like a diamond mine, and it's a mountain peak. It's called Glass Mountain, and it's located in California, USA. What makes it impossible? The ice is covered in thousands of tiny crystals that refract light like a million tiny prisms. Scientists believe the glacier formed 12,000 years ago and sits at an elevation of approximately 11,128 feet. The ice contains trapped volcanic ash, which creates a unique prism effect, making it look like it's made of diamonds. The sparkle is so intense that it can be seen from miles away, even on cloudy days. What's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen? Tell us in the comments. There's a lake in California that reflects the sky so perfectly, it looks like a portal to another world. Located in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Mirror Lake is an alpine lake with a depth ranging from 8 to 20 feet, known for its mirror-like surface. But how can a lake look like a mirror? Water should ripple, not reflect like glass. The answer lies in the surrounding mountains. They block the wind, and the lake's depth keeps the water calm and still. What makes it even more surreal is the clarity. You can see your reflection from 20 feet away, as if you're standing in front of a giant mirror. Visitors often mistake it for a portal to the sky. But it's just water, perfectly still, perfectly clear, and perfectly surreal. What's the most mind-blowing natural phenomenon you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments. What if sand could sing and scientists still can't explain how? In Morocco, there are dunes that produce sounds as loud as a rock concert, up to 115 decibels. The sounds range from a low hum to a high whistle, lasting up to 10 seconds, and they come from the dunes themselves. Scientists believe it happens when dry, well-rounded grains slide down the dune at a precise angle, but the exact mechanism? Still a mystery. These singing dunes are found in about 30 locations worldwide, and here's the kicker: the sound only happens when the sand is just the right size and dryness, like nature's own tuning fork. What other natural wonders are still beyond our understanding? Tell us in the comments. There's a door in Siberia that leads to absolutely nowhere, and no one knows why. It's about 6 feet tall and 3 feet wide, built from weathered wood, and it stands in the middle of nowhere, no walls, no building, no foundation. What makes it impossible? Doors exist to connect two spaces, but this one opens into solid frozen earth. Scientists and explorers have studied it for decades, but no one has found a tunnel, a room, or even a wall behind it. The door is located in a remote part of Siberia, thousands of miles from the nearest town, in a place where no one lives. Despite numerous attempts, no one has ever found anything behind it, just frozen ground and silence. What other impossible thing have you seen that still haunts your mind? There's a lake in Antarctica that has been frozen out of the world for millions of years, and it still flows, untouched by time. Lake Vostok lies buried under about 2.5 miles of ice, one of the largest subglacial lakes on Earth, roughly the size of Lake Ontario. But here's what makes it impossible: the lake has been completely sealed off from the surface for millions of years, no air, no light, no contact with the outside world. The ice above acts like a pressure seal, keeping the lake under about 5,143 pounds per square inch of pressure, more than the ocean floor at the Mariana Trench. And yet, in this frozen tomb, scientists have found signs of life, microbes surviving in total darkness, without sunlight, for millions of years. How do these microbes survive? They use chemical energy from the surrounding rock, a process called chemosynthesis, the same way life exists near deep-sea hydrothermal vents. Lake Vostok is a window into Earth's ancient past, and maybe even a clue to how life could survive on distant, frozen worlds. What other secrets are buried beneath the ice? There's a volcano in Indonesia that glows like a giant, eternal lava lamp, and it's been doing it for over 20 years. Mount Ibu, located on the island of Halmahera in North Maluku province, is home to a magma lake that pulses like liquid fire. This glowing magma chamber is about 1 kilometer wide and constantly churning like a natural lava lamp with no off switch. What makes this so strange? Most volcanoes either erupt or cool down, but Mount Ibu's magma has never stopped glowing or moving. Scientists have been watching it for over 20 years, and the lake has never once cooled or solidified. Because it's in such a remote area, Mount Ibu remains one of the least disturbed natural wonders on Earth, untouched by human interference. It's been called the eternal lava lamp, and scientists still can't explain why it's been glowing non-stop for decades. There's a desert in Namibia where the landscape rewrites itself every night, and scientists are watching it happen in real time. These are the dunes of Sossusvlei, some reaching over 300 meters high, shaped by wind and time into impossible forms. But what makes them impossible? They shift a few centimeters to tens of centimeters over time, as if the desert is alive and rewriting its own rules. Strong coastal winds push the sand across the desert floor, but the precision of the movement is so exact that it defies simple explanation. The landscape changes gradually over years, meaning no two visits to Sossusvlei ever look the same. Scientists study dune movement using satellite data and field observations, mapping changes in centimeters over time to understand this shifting wonder. What if the world you see today is gone by tomorrow? And what if you could never step in the same desert twice? There's a substance that looks solid but takes 12 to 13 years to drip. And it's been doing it for 90 years. This is the pitch drop experiment, a scientific test begun in 1927 at the University of Queensland in Australia. Pitch appears solid, but it's actually a highly viscous liquid, so thick it flows at a rate of just 1 drop every 8 to 10 years. The experiment was designed to prove that pitch, despite its rigid appearance, is a fluid just like honey, but a million times slower. In 90 years, only 8 drops have fallen, the first in 1927, and the most recent in 2023. The experiment has never missed a drop, and it's still running, with the next one expected in the next few years. What if something in your home has been slowly changing for decades and you didn't even notice? There's a puddle of black tar that drips just once every 10 years. And nobody can look away. It's called the pitch drop experiment, and it's been running since 1927 at the University of Queensland in Australia. The sticky substance is over 1,000,000 times more viscous than water. It looks solid, but it's actually flowing. This pitch is so thick that it takes years for a single drop to form and even longer to fall. In over 90 years, only 9 drops have fallen, one every 8 to 12 years, on average. The next drop is expected in the 2020s if it falls at all. What other impossible things are still happening in the world and no one is watching? What if rocks actually moved by themselves in the middle of nowhere? Welcome to Racetrack Playa in Death Valley, where giant stones glide across a dry lake bed, leaving long, winding trails behind them. These rocks shouldn't be moving. They weigh hundreds of pounds and there's no wind strong enough to push them. But scientists discovered the real reason: floating ice sheets push the rocks during freezing winter nights. These movements happen only once every few years, when the rare combination of rain, cold, and wind creates the perfect conditions. Some rocks have been tracked for decades, traveling only a few feet across the playa, leaving behind ghostly trails in the dust. And here's the kicker: scientists still don't fully understand how the rocks steer themselves across the playa. What's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen? Tell us in the comments. There's a ghost town in Western Australia that didn't vanish in a fire or flood. It was swallowed by a dune. And it's still moving today. Screaming Sandy was once a booming mining town, built to support the gold rush of the 1930s. But in the 1940s, a massive dune began moving toward the town at 10 feet every year, unstoppable and silent. By the 1970s, the dune had buried over 30 buildings, homes, shops, and even the town's church, forcing the last residents to flee. What makes this so strange? The dune isn't just shifting, it's moving forward, inch by inch, like a living thing. And here's the kicker: the dune is still moving today, decades after the town vanished, reshaping the desert like a slow-motion earthquake. What other places on Earth are being swallowed by forces we barely understand? There's a glacier in Alaska that moves like it's dancing. A few inches to several feet at a time. Over the course of hours or days. It's called the Dancing Glacier, and it's located in Glacier National Park in Montana. Most glaciers move so slowly, it takes years to notice. But this one surges forward in sudden, visible bursts, like a living thing. Scientists believe meltwater beneath the glacier acts like a lubricant, letting it slide in rhythmic pulses, like a heartbeat. Despite its erratic surges, the glacier moves in such a consistent pattern that it's sometimes called the glacier that breathes. It's one of the many glaciers in the world that move in surging patterns, and it's been doing it for decades, with no signs of slowing down. What if Earth itself is alive, and this is just one of its many strange, breathing places?